and welcome to This Is Why We Fight. I'm Jo.
And I'm Jordan.
Good evening. How is everyone? How are you, Jordan?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
Good,
I'm
good.
rushing to get the things set up as needed. Because I'm a professional.
I can see you've got something there. Do you want me to put it up on the screen or do you want
We
to
can
hang
in
on
a
bit?
moment.
Okay.
Well, hang on a moment.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. English Will, you're first with Cute Pikachu. Tash is here. Let's go. We've got Sir Francis is here. Nick is here. Positive Vibes Ahoy. And, well, I hope so. Middle of the week.
Vibes.
Yeah. DJ Mark is here. Good evening. Varg V is here. Good evening to you. So everyone's got their cup of tea. Good, good.
I do.
Everyone gets settled.
That's what I'm drinking currently and trying not to choke on because it's still a bit warm.
A bit warm. You mean volcanic?
Okay, right. You're obviously starting off in this sort of mood, apparently. What is a reasonable length of time to leave tea before drinking it? I give mine about half hour, give or take.
Half an hour? How hot do you make your tea?
With boiling water. It's the same around the bloody world. It's why it's known as boiling.
Half an hour. How does your tea stay hot for half an hour?
Because it's in a vessel.
I don't understand this. Chat, can you explain to Jordan how... Here we go. Thank you, Nick.
45 seconds. What are you drinking? Actually boiled water.
How hot is your tea that half an hour after you've made it, it's still hot enough to drink? A vessel, yeah, I know.
I don't know why I said a vessel.
I think that's code for a cup. Jordan can't just say cup.
Mugs with lids keep it for half hour. No, you are actually mad. Mugs with lids keep it for like 2 hours minimum.
Okay. Varg, I do agree with that, but Jordan doesn't have a mug with a lid. This is just a regular ceramic cup with a regular... This is why his kettle's so loud, because it's nuclear powered.
This is not... Don't make me...
English Will says, teacup thing. Nick says, my tongue is made of steel, bruh.
This is not a normal cup, I will have you know. This is a Ben Delissi from Marks and Sparks.
So what is it? What is it made of? Some kind of thermonuclear material? What is it? I think you're going to say Ben and Jerry's. I'm going to say that's not going to end well. Good evening, Gary Garner's Stack of Ribs. Thank you for joining us. I don't understand the half an hour thing. It must be stone cold.
No, it's still hot.
Nick says
This is what I'm saying. I'm choking away on it, trying to drink it in time. It's still hot.
Right, Nick says real men don't drink tea straight from the kettle. Is that what you do? You're just pouring hot water down your neck. Come on, you can admit it. No one will judge you. Good evening, Lil Bullet. I don't know what Jordan's on, DJ Mark. I'm not going to lie. This whole making a cup of tea and having it stay boiling hot for half an hour is not based in reality.
No, but I take it that Mark is agreeing with me, saying that tea needs to be there for a long while.
How is he agreeing with you?
Look, I think you're being biased. I think it's a bias right here.
I think Varg has a nice comment here. My mug is superior because it's shaped like a hedgehog. There you go. Superior mugs.
I don't disagree. My mug is just like a nice normal... First of all, I don't like calling them mugs. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. But anyway, this is just a nice normal cylindrical cup. Vessel, as previously described.
Okay, look, I know I've got I'm doing air quotes now, a hot water dispenser, which doesn't make the water hot particularly. But
exactly.
Even so, when I make tea or coffee using the kettle, it still is lukewarm within about 10, 15 minutes.
But you also, as you pointed out, you have a fake kettle. All your thing does is get it up to 85 degrees. Mine goes an extra 15 degrees.
Do you know what? I actually checked, and it doesn't even reach 85. It stops around 80. Nick says, I met someone who takes a large quantity of milk in her tea, but justifies it by insisting that it brews for a very long time acceptable. I like milky tea. That's not strong tea that I have to make cold. I'm kind of a dip the tea bag and run kind of person. I don't like leaving the tea bag in. It's like pale gravy. I don't know. That's madness. Absolute madness. Little Bullet says, are you a miffer or a whiffer? I don't know what that means. Hopefully you can explain. I hope it's not rude. Michael says, porcelain for the win. Varg leaves the tea bag in. Crazy person. English Will says, milk and sugar.
I don't like when the tea bag is left in. I do that every now and then accidentally. But I just forget to take it out. And, it sits there for about an hour in the water. But anyway.
But do you add milk or anything to your tea?
Yes, absolutely. But when you leave the bag in and you forget about it, it slaps you on the nose, scares you. It's not very pleasant, to be honest.
What do you mean it slaps you on the nose? How is your nose inside your cup like that?
Well, I say on your nose, but you work it out. You've got a cup, you're tilting it, suddenly out it comes.
Oh, your tea must be so brewed. It must be so... You must know the tea bag's in there long before it hits you in the face.
Well, no, that's the problem. You don't realise. You just think, oh, right, this is a bit strong, and you don't think about it.
Yeah, there you go, Nick. Thank you, Nick. Nick says, Joe's kettle's for property. Property burns at 100 degrees. Monty agrees with me. Thank you, Monty.
I don't like proper tea. I
found a kindred tea spirit. So Francis, milk in second. Oh, are we going to go there? Are we going to go there?
Oh, no.
How to make the proper cup of tea. Oh, Varga, no, don't know. Goat's milk makes the best tea.
I've had that.
I don't know. I can't agree with that. Gary Garner's a stack of ribs says not acceptable at all unwashed. Too much milk leaves tea far too cold and way too milky. Nick says leaving the tea bag in for guests without asking is one of the rudest things a person can do. This is the craziest conversation I think we've ever had. A splash of milk, no sugar, says Sir Francis. DJ Mark says scales business as well, leaving bag in. Michael says drink it out the saucer. My nan and granddad used to do that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If it spills in a saucer, just drink it. Who cares?
Yeah. Good evening, Lady Saxon. Milk after water, of course, says English Will. You're French. What do you know? I'm joking. We love you. We love you.
I will say before we carry on, this stream is actually going somewhere important today.
Yes, it was. Well, let's catch up. Lil Bullet says whiffer is a water in first, miffer is milk in first. Thank you for explaining. It has to be water first, otherwise your tea bag wouldn't brew, surely. Itash is strong tea with milk.
1 minute. You put your water in and then you put the milk in?
Yeah, of course you put the water in first. Why wouldn't you?
Why?
What do you mean, why?
You put the milk in first.
No, who does that?
Me?
No, you're a crazy person. I think we've established
No. Look, all I know is you leave tea. First off, you don't even boil the bloody water. You just, gin up by rubbing it or doing whatever you do. And then apparently you then make it wrong furthermore by just pouring the water in and then adding milk.
Oh, this is going to be the debate to end all debates. Right, let's have a one in the chat.
It could be the debate to end the channel, I tell you.
One in the chat if it's water first. Two in the chat if you put milk in first.
No, you've tilted the scales.
How have I? I've just asked a straight up question.
Because one is always the positive. Two.
Okay, fine.
Because
everyone stop. We'll turn it round. One in the chat if it's milk in first. Two in the chat if it's water in first.
Right, there you go. There's a load of ones. I win. Thank you.
This is interesting. DJ Mark has given us the benefit of his extreme professional tea making abilities here. He says, only with tea leaves do you put the milk in the cup first.
Extremely wrong.
Right, here we go. Oh, look, suddenly everyone's using twos. There you go. Except for Lil Bullet. Lil Bullet, I'm just so disappointed. Okay, right. So we have established that everything you do when you make tea is wrong, including the vessel, the nuclear heated water, and the amount of time you leave it to get cold. So moving on to actually important stuff. Lady Saxon just called you an animal. She said
these
2.
people
Water in
just never
first, you
seen
animal.
anybody so wrong. just the lack of etiquette is astounding.
Do you know what? No one's ever called Jordan an animal before, although Sir Francis does mention Muttley Sticker quite often. So technically, yeah. Thank you, Nick. Yes, we do try and stay innately British wherever we can, because being British is just the best. I may say that a bit too often for some people's liking. I can't help it. I'm proud of who I am. What can I say? Cream or jam first? Michael, that is a conversation for another stream. And we're on to scones already, or scones. Oh, God, that's another question. We're going to stop right now. Just chew the bag. It'll be fine. Jordan probably says Mr. 262. That's amazing. Right, okay. Moving on. Serious business now. Are you ready?
Indeed.
Okay. So Jordan has some stuff he would like to show you. None of it's tea, promise.
And none of it is by me so far.
Okay.
Thing number 1. Straight. Philomena, I'm not 100% sure what you made.
Is that an owl with big eyebrows?
No, it's a
Philomena.
hat.
What?
This is objective. A wizard wearing a hat with glasses.
What? I missed the memo here. Okay, let's start again. What?
I don't know what you mean.
I didn't know what I was looking at.
It's a little effort. I love it. I like the coat.
Did you make the coat as well? Because that's amazing. And yes, I see it's now a hat. In my defense, because I didn't bother to look at the pictures either side, I actually thought they were eyebrows. And yeah, I'm so sorry. That is a fantastic effort. If that's been made by hand, really well done. Very well done.
Philomena did well there.
Yes, she did.
This is the first one. There are 7 more to come.
Ooh.
The character is called Tompang Zeitgeist.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know what that is. I like it regardless. Once again, it's making stuff. You know, we don't always have to make fun, serious stuff. We can make fun stuff.
It's about utilising skills. It's about utilising skills, and that's the important thing.
Indeed, and ironically, Philomena isn't.
We did leave her in a conversation. It may be that she's lost track of time.
Abandoned her.
Yeah, wakey, love. Okay, so next one.
The second part is from Jonathan, resident gardener. He raised beds.
Resident professional gardener. Oh, brilliant.
It is like this. This is the sort of thing you see so many people build, and they use railway sleepers and things like that, which are bloody expensive.
Yes.
These here, old crates, not expensive, do the job. What is that? What sort of crates are these?
Well, Jonathan is here, so let's ask him. Jonathan.
Yes, they do. Inform us.
Did you put these together yourself? Did you buy them intact? Where did you get them from?
They look like the sort of things. They look like the sort of equipment come in, but I can't totally work out what.
Raised beds are such a good idea.
I'm interested to find out, though. How big are they? Dimensions will be good. What are you going to grow in them?
I feel like, is the chat still working? Everyone's gone
there
quiet.
There we go. We've just got some more come out.
Here we go. Made out of pallets, I reckon, says DJ Mark. I do agree.
I can read the comment that went along with them. Old pallet. Ooh, I pressed a button. Am I still here? Joe? Yeah, thank you. Okay, good. So I pressed the button and I looked down and I have no idea what the button does. So I was like, ooh, that's not good.
You don't get professional TV like this, you know.
Use. Well, sometimes you do.
No.
Old pallet collars I'm going to use as heads. Need to clamp them first. What the hell is a pallet collar?
Jonathan, thank you. We have so many questions. Right, so they are pallet collars left over from the part 2.
Oh, okay, right, I see
for
what
part
they are.
2.
Right, this here gives people an idea of what they actually are. That is
A customer who gave them. Jonathan, why are you making us wait for the whole sentence? What's going on?
Trying to tease us.
It is. Cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's what they're meant to be. Or that's what they were originally. That gives you an idea, and then obviously you just stack it up and up and up depending on what originally came in the pallet. I have no idea. What you would put in such a pallet, I have no idea.
Your bullet suggesting
That's damn
potatoes.
interesting.
I would say, yeah, something heavy and large. That is a good idea.
Like
so you got the pallets intact then, Jonathan, and you just stack them up.
Also, just before we go on carrying on doing what we're doing.
Yes.
Look at the garden tip on Discord. Okay, right, one minute. Look at the garden tip. When my internet loads, give it a moment, lads. It'll get there eventually. I tell you, some of the gardens people have are just incredible.
Yes, they really are. You've all worked so hard. Well done, you. This is the thing. We really do need to start inspiring more people to start growing. It doesn't really matter what they start with, actually. It doesn't matter if it's a cucumber or a potato. It doesn't matter. We need to get people used to this idea of growing a surplus just in case, and hopefully that will turn into something full-time. The problem we've had, I think, is for so long we've been convinced that our garden should be these manicured lawns, you know, and the grass is looked after and it's all the perfect length, and you know, you've got your flower beds all around it. Unfortunately, that time has passed. We now need to adapt to what's going on, and this is the way to do it. That's amazing. Whose is that?
That's Jonathan did with it. You noticed the little pallet round the bottom.
Oh, I just saw that.
He's got your favourite in there, and all love. Take a guess.
Well, are you being sarcastic?
Maybe.
If you're being sarcastic, it's going to be cabbage.
No, cabbage is good.
No, you said my favourite.
To be fair, these are good, and all these are beans.
Ah, okay. I don't hate beans. I'm just not a fan like you are. I'm not obsessed with them.
I was about to say, you don't like beans like I like beans. They're by you beans. That's how it works.
No, nobody likes beans like you like beans. Even Mr. Hines doesn't like beans as much as you like beans.
Don't talk to me about Hines not having their nonsense. They come out with their beans face and space grace and all that nonsense.
Exactly. Replace was the word you were thinking of.
There we go. Thank you. I couldn't remember.
Replace your loved ones. Right, so little bullets. The little bullets got a tip for you there. Put in the first layer of spuds. When there's sprout in the soil, put the next box on, cover them, and keep doing the same thing. Thank you for that. I don't know. English will. That's totally inappropriate comment. I don't know where that came from. Oh, it's getting sensual. Okay. I don't know why you said that. It must be the French part of you. Yeah, you need to stop that. Mr. 262 says, do you put the beans in first or the hot water? I think it's a question for you, Jordan.
Obviously, you don't water plants with hot water. That wouldn't be good at all.
Can get a frost at the end of May. Can get a frost. We've had the craziest weather this year, I'm not going to lie.
I was telling you the other day that the backfield still is not growing. It still looks about as good now as it did 2 months ago.
Looks like they've done to the backfield what YouTube is doing to our subs.
Yeah, quick like weird little aside about that. We've been stuck at the exact same number now for nearly a month. Like, it has not moved off this one number. It's really weird.
Well, what they did before was they stagnated us at around 900, didn't they? And boom,
Yeah.
they added all the ones that we should have had gradually. They added them all at once, and then they've done it again. It's like, I don't know. So anyway,
It's
if you
the
haven't
fact.
subscribed, please do.
It's the fact that it's at the exact same number and it just has not moved. It's bloody weird. It's really weird.
Well, it's
Exactly,
not
Johnny
weird.
Merkel, you've got it. I had a bone to pick with you as well. I can't remember what it was. Do you remember, Joe?
No idea.
It was on last night's stream. I can't remember what it was. Or podcast, rather. Not stream. I know what I mean. Tuesday series been going for everyone in chat, by the way. Have you been enjoying it? I
Yes.
have been a great deal. It's been really interesting digging into these things.
It has been. Did you all like the smart advice? Was it smart? Did you all like the wonderful website they've created? And the smart advice?
What about that amazing, weird little gremlin?
Oh yeah, can I just say again, big thank you to the government for taking on our Starve the Beast policy. That's amazing. Who knew? Who knew we were such trendsetters? It's nice to be noticed sometimes, although
It's
not
a
by
real
the government.
tragedy. It's a real tragedy they got it wrong. They didn't say starve the beast. They said don't feed the beast or whatever it was. It was so close.
Yeah.
You've got to give them an A for effort, especially considering they just came out of the special school,
Well, they definitely did, because that video was just cringe.
Oh,
that was appalling. I'm the ultimate tech boomer. I could have done better than that. That was awful.
Horrific.
There you go. So the people that lie to you, mislead you, compel you, manipulate you, and coerce you are telling you how to look out for liars online. It's rather ironic. These people have no self-awareness whatsoever. But if you enjoyed it, we're glad you did. Amazing that they are still convinced that we don't see through them. Oh, I hate these adverts as well. Isn't this the personal pension one?
It is. Is it me or did that weird little thing also look a bit like him?
Oh, they probably repurposed it because, they've got to save money now. Everyone's cancelling their TV license, haven't they? That was the workplace pensions, I think, actually.
It was one of them. I can't remember which one it was. It was something.
Projection, exactly. They're literally telling you how to spot their own lies. It's just amazing. I just love what they kept saying. If you want information about COVID, only use the NHS website.
I love how they didn't even direct people to the BBC.
Because too many people are aware of what the BBC is doing.
I think it's that, but it's also kind of a little bit. We are the government. They are the government's basic media wing. It'd be a little bit weird if we say, don't use any other news source. Just go to these people, our own news. I think people would see through that a lot more.
Exactly, yeah. Don't listen to our fully paid up mouthpiece that is as unbiased as, well, we are. It's rather amazing.
You and your weird bloody tea making.
Oh, come on. Anyway, right, carry on.
Indeed, we're carrying on. We're away from this. The next part is we have a creative bunch, and we haven't done this in a really long while. We would like more suggestions. Pop these on Discord if you can, if you've made stuff. The next one I had to go and hunt around for, and Philomena helped me out.
So who provided this?
This is Johnny Not Pounds. 1 minute. There is a fully fledged backstory. There is something on here.
Nice.
It's actually quite incredible. It's like an after action report. I will read it out in full. This is on the Discord if anybody, and there are a number of other people who've made stuff as well. Some of you might remember Woodburn a fitting year. I most certainly do. He's been storing. I'll read it from his perspective, it'll be easier. I've been storing timber from various gardening/building projects in the garden for fuel. I was using this ugly plastic box. I think it's very harsh on the box, to be honest with you. I was using this ugly plastic box to store a week's worth down at the kitchen door that we've had for years, and it's really past its best. As you know, I like a project, so I decided to use some of the old fencing that I'd replaced and had plans to use the fuel thing a little more practical and better looking than the plastic box. So that was the original. That's now dead. That's dead and buried. That's been replaced. It has been replaced by... Oh, 1 minute. This little thing. It's so much better.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Well done, Johnny, not pal. That's really good.
And that's just with some scrap. Like some bits of material left over from previous projects. That is a really, really well finished... That roof... Oh, blimey. Okay, we're not Migo. We don't need to zoom in that much. That roof
Speak for yourself.
That roof is genuinely better than my fence. I had a fence replaced last year. Yeah, a fence replaced last year. It's not of this quality. That is a really good, solid roof.
That's extremely well done, Johnny, not pal.
Even painted it with some leather material. I'll read it out. Where is it? Here it is. In this, it costed nothing more than a few screws and about 4 hours of work. Engine oil and a diesel mix for protection from the elements and to make it a uniform colour.
Wonderful. Didn't even buy any varnish or any extras for it. I'm supremely impressed by that.
And here it is from another angle. This is what we can do when we actually put some effort into stuff. Like 4 hours, there you go, bang, done something. Done something that otherwise would have just been laying around as scrap and eventually would have rotted.
Especially using scrap materials or just things that you've got lying around. Maybe not the diesel lying around, not to be, too literal with it. But that is amazing. And it just goes to show how many things, and everyone, I want everyone to just be honest with themselves right now. How many things have we, all of us, in the last, say, year, 2 years, thrown out that we could have repurposed? Because that's really what this comes down to. We really need to get into this mindset where when we're about to get rid of something, can we use it for something else with a little bit of work and a little bit of ingenuity? This is so impressive. Well done.
It is incredibly impressive. It's as I said, it's just a little bit of effort. That's all most things take, just a little tiny bit of effort, and then you can go from something that's, good enough, it does the job, to something like this, which is genuine and solid.
Yeah.
This looks like it's going to last quite a while. And if it doesn't, such is life. Pull it apart, do it again.
I will say as well, it does take a fair amount of confidence to do something like this, but start small. Just start making, you're going to fail many projects before you have a success, or at least be accepting of the fact. But every time you fail in a project, you've learned something. I fail to do things all the time, but I remember the things I did wrong and I don't do them again. Mm-hmm. And each time I try, I improve. And that's really the key to this. Nick is asking, does anyone in our circle make chairs I'd happily buy? If anyone has the skill to make a chair, please get in touch with Nick.
What sort of chair?
Let us know on the Discord.
Like garden chair, office chair, dining chair?
Yeah, what materials are you looking at, Nick? Armchair?
Leather chair, there you go.
A reading chair. A sun lounge. Totally agree with this, Johnny Red Pill Seed says. The only way to get good at something is to give yourself the freedom to make some mistakes. This is why using scrap materials is the best way to do it. You've invested very little. You can afford to make mistakes. And you will learn from them. Oh, well, here we go. Nick said anything, but a few people have suggested a throne. So can someone make Nick a throne, please? Oh, Mr. 262 says a love seat with a wink. There you go. Varg says, everything I make is crude and basic, but it's still satisfying. Yes, it is, because you were productive. You made something with your fair hands. It's your hard work. And there must be such a sense of satisfaction. So incredibly proud of anyone who engages in projects like these.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention Philomena, who I don't think was here when we brought up your work, but everyone has different skills, but we value them all equally. Oh, yeah. Right, I will put it up. I'll get to it. Cockney Nutjob says, I make furniture, but at the moment I'm moving workshop packed away.
I can't
Maybe when
believe I
you're
forgot we have a resident carpenter.
maybe when you've got it all unpacked, you can get in touch with Nick or get in touch with us, and we'll put you in touch with each other if you're not already. English Bird says yes. Try and fail is a good practice. Nick says a chaise long. I don't know. If we've got a resident carpenter, that might not be above their skills. Varg says, I'll build you a commode so you can poo and stream at the same time. Who said that we have to give up beauty for efficiency?
Look, all I'm saying is that will enable the 24-hour stream much quicker.
It will. I genuinely hope, though, people still use the mute button, is all I'm saying.
Why?
Because if someone's pooing and streaming, I don't want to hear it. Nick says DT was the most important lesson in school. They labelled it a DOS subject. Yes, they did. And it was important. And a lot of these sort of hands-on skill subjects are gone now. It's all book learning.
As somebody who didn't go to school, what the hell is DT?
It's your woodworking, your metalworking, your basic skills.
But what does DT stand for?
Oh, I don't know. I never did it.
Oh,
something technology, I think.
Design?
Design and tech. There you go. Picking Gaz says, bird baths are a good seller. Yes, they are. And bird tables, actually. Thank you very much, Cockney Nutjob. That would be absolutely wonderful. Lady Saxon's just asking why. So Francis answered you there, multitasking. Johnny Red Pill Seed says, if you don't succeed, don't take up skydiving. I couldn't speak then.
Hey, don't steal my part in the show. I don't have much.
Hail the metal workers, says Richard the Lionheart. We've got so many skilled people. Don't even start Jordan on metal work. Honestly, he's been going on about this since I can't even remember. It was a wooden lathe at first, wasn't it? And now you're like, no, fabrication is the thing.
I am absolutely determined to empty out my shed and then to start actually doing and making good, proper-sized projects. This is my goal for the year. It's been set back, but this is the goal. This is what will be.
We do have a specific project that is linked to the gardening stream that we're hopefully going to work on. We're kind of finalising it now. We will share it with you once it's finalised. Incredibly useful if we can make this work. In fact, we've got a number of fantastic ideas. It's just a case of building prototypes. And this is the kind of thing we want you to do, is think outside the box. Don't just make things you need, although obviously that comes first. If you can find a way to add convenience to something or repurpose something that makes life a bit easier, please put forward your suggestions. We will share them. And hopefully that will inspire others to do the same. This is such a good example of that, though, to repurpose something that you already had. The cost is negligible, and it looks amazing. And when you think there are people who would spend a lot of money on something like this, so many of these projects could turn into some kind of paid work if you're willing to commit to it. If you have the time, obviously, many people still have jobs and other commitments. Stephen O says, Jordan, buy a welder.
That is the plan, along with a couple of other bits and bobs.
Picking Gaz says, I want a jig doll. I don't quite know what that is, Picking Gaz, if you could explain.
I'm Googling.
I know what a jigsaw is, but I've never heard of that.
Oh, it is actually a... Oh, it's one of those things. Okay, yeah, you'll understand what it is when you see it. I didn't know
Okay.
that was what they were called. Those things.
What does that do?
It's the little... They jig. What do you want me to say? It jigs.
What does
Clues
it
in the name.
do? Like, does it have a purpose apart from jigging?
No, it's like a children's toy.
Ah, right. Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, no, I'll find a video. Have you not seen... How have I seen this and you haven't? I'm like the
I don't
least
know.
cultured person on this stream.
That's a first, isn't it? That you've seen something I haven't.
Bit of a novelty.
Right.
I've
Couple
not
of
watched this
comments while
video
you're bringing.
before.
Oh,
So
have you got it ready?
this might
Okay.
be horrific.
Okay.
Here we go. We're muted. Carry on.
Right. Go big boy view, please. How is it jigging? Are you just bouncing it?
He's just bouncing it, yes.
That's kind of ingenious. Yeah, I kind of love that.
Yeah, there you go. That was it.
Wonderful, thank you. Jonathan says I have to make a seat which adds to woodworking for the moon gate I made first lockdown. Fantastic. Please send pictures when you've done it. And Picking Gaz says that whittled jumper would have been part of it. Oh, you should have let Jordan know.
That'd be really cool.
Picking Gas says it will tap to the song beats like You Shall Have a Fishy. When the boat comes in. Well, I haven't heard that for years. Okay, next picture, please. Well done, Johnny Not Pal. Really impressive.
Oh, well, that's it for the pictures. And now we're moving on to the meat, I suppose, for lack of a better term, of my own apprehension. As a part of and trying to learn how to do stuff, I am not good with electronics. As has been well established before, I basically know don't lick the thing and all is good. As a part of this, I have a little project I want to do. I want to build an LED light that kind of goes under the cabinet like this. I think this is lazy mode. I don't like this. This is basically what I would do if it was just me and it wasn't a part of a wider project. Now to put together a simple little electronic under-counter light that looks nice. That's what I'm looking for. Safe, there you go. That weird term that I'd very rarely use. That's what I want to do. I have the LED strip. So I go on.
I was just going to say, you broke up a little bit there. Can you just clarify again for the chat exactly what you're looking for? Sorry.
Flipping out, did I break up that much? Basically, I want a little under-counter light system. Because I have one of those stupid that's very bloody dark in pretty much all of it. And it's a pain in the backside because you have to turn on the big main light in order to get any light down where you're bloody well cutting. I don't want to do it in this way, though, because as I said, this isn't very... It's not very good, to be honest with you. It's low effort. I want something that is actually good and functional. So I would like something that ends up in this variety, where it's tucked away nicely, it's all clean and tidy and all the rest of that.
So those lights appear to be at the back of the cupboards rather than at the front, like the first one.
That's just because it was a picture I found.
But there's no plinth there, is there? So I think that light's actually at the back of the cupboards.
There on all but certainly is, but the general gist remains. I'm actually trying to find a decent picture of it, and it's surprisingly difficult.
So you basically want like my daylight bulb, but for these kitchen strip lights, you want to create that effect so that the light is on the counter and it's not shadowed by your ceiling light when you're leaning over the counter.
Yes, now we're talking.
That's dumb. Putting your ceiling lights above your head. Obviously, they've got to go in the ceiling, but to have just the ceiling light in the kitchen and not strip lights under your counters never made sense to me. Johnny Redpool Seed has already suggested. More suggestions, please, everyone. Get some translucent hose pipe.
Ooh,
I didn't know such a thing existed. Thank you.
that is a good idea. Well, this is actually the point. This is what I want to know, because this is one of the things I'm struggling with. How to go about it all, basically. I've got the LED strip, as previously mentioned. I have a multimeter, which I mentioned on Discord a couple of weeks ago.
Cockney Nutjob says you need to tap into an electric spur with a switch and a fuse.
And that's it.
I don't know. I think for those of you who do this all the time, you probably think this is common sense. But for those of us who've never done it, we need like a step-by-step setting up lights for dummies kind of tutorial. So if you do know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about, please dumb it down for us just to make sure we know exactly what you mean.
I like the idea that Johnny came up with, the translucent hose piping.
Yes. See how much that is and where you can get it from. I didn't even know such a thing existed.
Not a clue. Oh yeah, it is. A load of it.
Tash says this looks lovely, kind of mellow. I like that very much. It's got a kind of even though those would be very bright lights for the kitchen, it still does look kind of cozy. Johnny Redpill Seed says connect the wires to the sparky things. Brilliant.
See, that's basically my electrical knowledge right there. I do actually have everything I think I need priced up and all the rest. But I want confirmation on the best way to do this. I was thinking just plug it into the wall. Purely because my electrics in this house are not the best. It would be much safer, let's put it that way.
So the LED light set that you bought, does it have a point that you can connect to a plug, or do you have to wire it in?
No, I have to wire it in. This is my point. This is what I want to know. So
don't lick the wall.
Clearly. What I was thinking is just a plug straight out of the wall into the thing. 1 minute, I will find it is a 2 amp plug, I believe. Get one of these things here, right? 1 minute, picture. These are remarkably expensive. Unbelievably expensive, one of these things. That would then plug into the socket. There we go, thank you. My brain did kick in. So that would then plug into the socket. I should have drawn a little diagram. And then you would connect the socket up to the wall is good. Would that work, or would it be best to put a fuse in that little system? And then furthermore, would you actually need the socket, or would it be better just to snip the end off of that plug?
Adam says, wire it to a male USB end, then use a phone charger to power it. You can buy USB chargers pretty cheap online.
Wire it to a male USB end? On that.
Picking Gas says Transformers, lots of money in disguise. Mr. 262 says Jordan and adapters. Yeah, this isn't going to end well. Daffy says that's fused already. Maybe
I thought it would be, because it is.
What you were asking?
No. I thought it would be, because that is the plug itself, the power supply. Right, 1 minute.
So your USB does not have anything connected to the end of it. You have to physically wire it into something. So can these be wired into a plug, or do they have to go straight to the power source? That plug goes where? Picking Gaz is asking. Well, the plug goes into the wall, hopefully. The adapter at the other end would... So what are you talking about? So the jack would go into what? A transformer?
No. The jack would just go straight into the socket on the LED setup itself.
Do you have that kind of socket on the LED setup itself?
No, I would have to buy that and wire that in.
Right, okay, I understand where you're going now.
There you go. See, they're just little bits and bobs. They're jelly bean parts.
Plug, a face only a mother could love. That's so random, but that was actually funny. Okay, so
this is what I like. This is learning. This genuinely is something I do not know anything about. You could put me like around a vehicle and tell me to take it apart, and I'd probably be able to blunder my way through it eventually. You could give me some sort of hydraulic setup, and I'd be able to blunder my way through it eventually. Hydraulics is relatively simple. Electricity, on the other hand, confuses the living hell out of me because you can't see it. It doesn't go well with my brain.
you can certainly feel it, though. Mr. 262 says, can we see the original kitchen pick again, please?
Yes, we can. It was much more interesting. Or do you mean like the original? That was the original. That basically is the strip that I got. It is an LED strip, as you see there, with the little...
Can you zoom in on that section where it's connected to the power supply?
That thing. It's just connected in. It's just some wires soldered into the end.
Right, okay. Adam says there would only be a 12-volt wire, so don't worry about a plug. Varg, brilliant suggestion. This is something I'd do. Just keep your Christmas lights up all year. Lady Saxon says, Jack will go to the pub because he has no idea what people are saying. Okay. Nick says that's why it's worth learning about. Electricians earn a lot because of that big old death risk. Yep. I think everyone should learn the basics if they can. I do agree that's kind of low effort, though. Yeah. Weren't you talking as well about like the? Can we have a look at the transparent hose, because the diffuser is important, because LED lights have this weird kind of spotlight feature.
Well, as you can see, that's very harsh light. I'll actually find you a picture to put that across. LED lights are just, well, they are what they are. They're light emitting diodes. They're from a solitary point. Come on, I had a decent. Here it is. Here's a decent picture.
Oh, hang on. Adam says that was a typo. I meant to say the LEDs will only be 12 volt. Lol. Don't wire it to a normal plug. Thank you.
There you go. That's without a diffuser. That just doesn't look right.
No, that would hurt your eyes. So the diffuser is important. You still want the bright light, but you want it to be a single strip of light rather than points of light. Right?
Indeed. My original theory when it came to the diffusion was a strip of stuck it up. Because I've seen some people.
Well, let's look at some ideas for diffusion then as well. So see if you can find that hose. Does anyone else have any suggestions for ways to diffuse the light, to soften it and lengthen it so it's not different pinpoints of light? Okay.
But I have to say, Adam, that was one heck of a typo, mate. There's a small difference.
So what are these made of? Are these... right. Daffy says you can buy a coloured hose. I've got one. You can actually have a colour. And Mr. 262 is asking, can you diffuse in a low-tech way with a white painted undercupboards or white tiles? You can. It will diffuse the light bouncing, but you'll still have those pinpoints of light if you get close to them.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen O says most LEDs are 6 volt. You need a voltage reducer.
These are 12 volt.
Okay.
But that is bloody useful information.
Good advice. Thank you. And Adam says glass tube like they use on fluorescent strip lights. There you go.
Can you pop up Mark's comment?
What, this one?
Laughing at.
I went to a course with work to learn about electricity. I got an electric shock in the classroom. Damn.
This is why I don't do electrics.
I've got a feeling.
Or didn't, should I say?
When Jordan starts this project, if you find that I'm doing a few streams by myself, you'll know the worst has happened. That he licked the live end and it didn't end well.
Look, this is why the multimeter. I will not be licking. I have a device that does the licking.
Lady Saxon is asking, it's a good question. Can't you get ones already with lights in? Any problem with disco colours? I think just the problem is because it's for a kitchen, you don't really want sort of color change lights. Although you could have them, you want a light that's efficient, that's going to give you a workable environment. Can you get ones with lights in already? Good question.
Of course, but that goes against the point.
But I think Jordan wants to make it himself.
Exactly. The point is to give it a go.
DJ Mark continues his little story with the teacher had his head in his hands, lol. Well, at least you're in a good place. I mean, you must have been in a good place for people to know how to deal with it. Picking Gas says translucent conduit, that would be.
I just looked at that up, so thank you for that.
There you go. Nick
What
sums
I
it
will do,
up.
I will also pop that into another tab so I can take a look at that good and proper later on.
Can we ask the men in the chat to confirm if this is true? Nick says men drink from the kettle and lick sockets every morning before slonking 18 raw eggs for breakfast. Can we have one in the chat from the men if this is true? I'm supremely impressed if this is. Mr. 262 says Jordan's themed kitchen theme club is going to be lit. Oh, look, everyone's saying it's true. Well, Sir Francis has actually rejected the egg scenario, but everything else is true. Oh, fact one, says Cockney Nutjob. There you go. So true, says English Will. DJ Mark says you can get some amazing lights on Amazon eBay. Picking Gaz, this is random, but says LED lights don't burn your bum. Why are they near your bum, Picking Gaz? And do I really want to know the answer to that question?
I will also say you can buy properly done. I'm not sure. You can buy proper channels.
So they're already cut.
There you go. Indeed, they come in 2 meter lengths, which is slightly more than the foot that I would need. But once again, scrap, you can use it later. They also come with the aluminium underside, because this, even though it's a little bit difficult to tell, because some reason people like taking pictures of white objects on white backgrounds.
Oh, God, that really grinds my gears. Does it?
Oh,
what material is this?
That would be acrylic. Or is that an aluminium? No, that will be acrylic. Do they actually specify?
So do you want a flat diffuser or a curved one? And would the shape of it have an effect? I imagine it would.
I don't think it would matter, to be honest.
Does anyone know? Has anyone made one of these? Can you tell me if a flat diffuser would affect the light, the way the light appears, rather than a half circle, a semicircle?
This website is doing my brain just a little bit.
Miss 262.
Same as before.
Practicalities. A cover would be easier to clean. Yes, you'd be able to wipe it down with a cloth.
Oh, exactly. That's why I want the nice little cover going on. But once again, this is going to be an actual proper object that will be used. This is not a mess around. Oh, let's build it and then pop it aside. No. This is being up under a counter next to the cooker, and it will be in use. So things like being able to clean it is very important. Sorry,
Picking Gas says diffuser will give a uniform light across the length. That's exactly what you want. So you don't have those little points of light to give you a headache or distract you.
Exactly. Now, obviously, me being me, I would like to find a way to do it that isn't buying it. But if it's cheaper to do it this way, by all means. I want to see the aluminium profile itself, if you do not mind.
Takes the glare off, diffuses the light by fracturing it. Thank you, Picking Gas. And DJ Mark says, I could get it done, but I'd have to be there, really. I think there's enough skill in this chat for you to just talk Jordan through it. I wonder if Jordan could be persuaded to maybe not put this together on a live stream, but do something.
No, that's the point. That's the point. We're going to be doing this on the stream. We're not doing baby mode. We're not doing, this is one we made earlier. No. This isn't Blue Peter. You get to see the blood and gore live. Only here.
Maybe for the next show.
Just edits in our hands at the moment.
Maybe for the next show you want to keep your children away from the stream. We'll put up a gushing blood warning and a disclaimer. We apologise in advance for any trauma caused. No, I'm sure it'll be fine. Look, you survived your whittling knife. I'm sure this will be fine.
Hey, the whittling I got pretty decent at. Look, don't start the coughing and all. This is my gig.
That was
you're not allowed to do this.
That was a sympathy cough. I'm practicing for next week. Lady Saxon says I'm buying a ticket, and Johnny Red Pill Seed says there will be blood. This is Thunderdome, right?
Are you not entertained? Sorry. I wasn't listening.
I know you weren't. You never listened to me. DJ Mark says, okay, great, because I would go the way of an extension lead. Johnny Red Pill Seed says it will be a shocker. Hey, don't say we don't entertain you. Mr. 262 says PTSD, lay on a bed staring at adapters. Picking Gas says it's going to be dangerous. I'm very concerned about you directly connecting this to your power.
To be fair, the electricity in this house is so bloody bad.
I know.
If I were to plug it in, the odds of me getting a nasty shock out of it would be hilariously low.
Well, is that because it takes so long to boil your kettle? You don't think there's enough power to actually harm you?
Pretty much. I've grown accustomed to this lack of energy from the frigging walls. Oddly enough, my bill just keeps going up. I don't know why. That never comes down, even though the general supply of electricity is up and down, to say the least.
That's probably your neighbours.
Doing what? Just stealing it?
Yeah. Well, no, they do it with the grid, don't they? They can tell how many kettles are boiling. I reckon every time your neighbours put the oven on, that's your electricity gone.
Come on, it's that ancient. I turn the kettle on down here, the lights upstairs flicker.
Oh,
that's
God.
Always fun.
Yeah, please don't wire it directly to the electrics.
No. It's not being wired directly to the electrics. Here's the plan. It's obviously coming from a plug of some capacity. I like Adam's idea of a USB charger. I like that quite a lot. But any which way, it's coming from a plug. The question is, do we then need to plug it into a socket like these things here? Just wire them up. I'd like an actual picture of one of these things. 1 second. There you go. That'll do for example's sake. Do we actually need to wire this thing up, or can it go directly into a thing? Into a switch. That's the word I meant, a switch. I am a professional. I know what I'm going on about. Like I said, in all honesty, after hearing about it, I would be afraid of seeing Jordan's boiler and want to cut it off. Don't worry about the boiler. Nobody speaks about the boiler. The boiler was meant to have been replaced about 4 years ago at this rate. To give people an example, the boiler is so old, they can't find parts for it anymore. So they're just having to scavenge around the rest of the estate to find this particular type of boiler, and it isn't in a good way. Ironically, the best part of it is the door, which is still remarkably intact. Mister says, I need to stop buying Lecky from the geezer down the pub, if only it was so cheap. My electricity bill's just gone through the freaking roof this year. Anyway, as I was saying, does it need to be, I'm going to say the word plumbed, I don't mean plumbed. Does it need to be wired up? Do we need a socket like this, or can it go directly into the switch? I see no reason why it cannot go directly into the switch. Adam has said, pretty sure, because it will be low power, you should put a switch in on the wire. That's my thought. I don't really see the purpose of a socket unless you're actually like doing much more complicated stuff on the inside, which I'm not. There's no PCB board in this. It's just going to be a light, just like a little switch and a light. What I can do actually is show you the light, the switches that I want to get.
Right. Courtney Nutjob says, why don't you just buy a lighting kit with a plug? Otherwise, you'll have to stab it into a circuit. The problem is you like to make things from scratch, don't you?
Yeah, because this isn't about the practicality of having a usable item at the end of it. This is about the adventure of how the hell does it work.
So Lady Saxon suggested batteries. Too easy, says DJ Mark. He knows you too well.
I hate batteries. I can't stand it. This here is the little switch that I'm going to buy. Because I think these look cool. There's no other reason. Options. Look at that. That's like a proper switch.
I mean, I've got a cheap LED light and it came with a switch. And mine just plugs straight into the wall, like it came with a plug on it. But that's not make, do, amend. That's everything was done for us, and that's not how we learn.
Exactly. Especially, once again, this is just a relatively simple little circuit. There's nothing super complicated going on here. But I think this is a good starting. If you want to get into something, and I make no mistake about this, I do not want to get into electronics, but I think it would be a useful thing to start learning. Just a general sort of like, how does all of this work? Because eventually the plan would be to start buying things like lathes and start fiddling around with them and getting them to work properly and buying and making a CNC table and all of that jazz. That's the plan.
I'm getting a distinct impression that people aren't trusting you right now. Johnny Red Pilsey says, how to blow up your house in 12 easy steps. And Courtney Nutjob is asking, does Jordan do his own surgery? Only when he's whittling, is the answer. Mr. 262 says, would look a treat in Jordan's valve-powered kitchen. Yes. Okay, these comments are amazing. Hell yeah, I've got about 4 of them switches in the shed. They're cool. Okay, good.
See? They're like proper... They're real switches. They look like they're going to be really, really positive action, like a... when you flick them on and off. That's what I like.
I don't like the toggle is metal, though. That should be rubber or something, shouldn't it?
No!
Just break the circuit.
No, because it's earth. It's fine.
There's no health and safety. Picking Gaz says, you put white wire well away from the black wire. Don't cut the red wire. So Francis says, Rambo style. Picking Gaz says, I'm already hiding under the table. You all better tune in for this stream because it might be the last time anyone ever sees Jordan. Lady Saxon says they do look nice. I will agree with you there. They do look very robust. I did this myself. A very kind of manly. These are real switches. None of your namby-pamby shop-bought nonsense.
The other thing about these, in the future, come to do another project. There you go. Use these. Take these apart or take these off of the thing, put them in.
Oh, actually, they do come with a rubber cover, don't they? I just noticed that. If you make the picture a touch smaller. There you go.
This health and safety, I can't stand.
I know you won't use them.
To be fair, one minute, given they're going into a kitchen, I probably would.
No.
Yeah.
What happened to Mr. Health and safety is for babies.
No. This is nothing to do with health and safety. This is purely, there's going to be a lot of dirt and oil going around. It makes sense to have something that's very cleanable. And it also acts, if you look, it also acts as a little cover. Because they've got this little bit here, some gusseting going on. And then they've got this here, which is obviously an ingress point.
Complete with why is this chat getting sexual? I don't like this. Mr. 262 says, I'm pretty nervous about touching my keyboard right now. Goes on to say, for your pleasure. Bit concerned about that. Lady Saxon says, complete with protection. Sounds like a condom advert. Adam Otter says, the rubber covers spoil them. So don't do it. Oh, okay.
They do indeed sit in a box. I have a little plan about that as well. I can manufacture a little box.
David says those switches have to be insets, so start whittling the cupboard. Don't give them ideas, honestly. I think you'd love to make a kitchen from scratch, though, wouldn't you?
That would be the plan.
I would love you to make a kitchen from scratch. Let's ask all the ladies in the chat. Have any of you ever lived in a kitchen that was designed by someone who's ever used a kitchen? It's honestly a massive bugbear for me that kitchens are not designed, unless you buy a brand new one that's like 30 odd thousand. They're not designed to utilize space efficiently. And I'm so tired of having to move things to get to things. And so, yes. They look better without rubber, says Lady Saxon.
I do agree. I do think they look much better without. But as I said,
they look hardcore.
Well, as I said, they're going into a dirty environment, and I am worried about the ingress dirty up in the joint area. I don't know what the hell to call that.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, if it's going to be boxed anyway, I mean, we'll see. Just for goodness sake, don't kill yourself.
Look, the switch part is the least frightening part. The switch is eminently doable.
Yes, Santh. Prices are going up now. In fact, we have been keeping a little bit of an eye on the rapid inflation that's occurred just in the last few months.
I have a decent story of this. My back fence had fallen down, and it's just a bog standard panel fence. There's nothing to it. I remember when we last bought a fence panel, I did my nut because it was really bloody expensive. It was about 13 quid. Now, the same thing out of B&Q is 23 quid, I think. And it's not big by any stretch of the imagination, bog standard, like waist height sort of fence. It is ridiculous.
Oh, that's a tiny fence for the money. I agree.
It's insane. It's just a 6 foot fence panel that's waist height, and it's so expensive. It has gone up in price so much. Wood prices are through the roof.
You should probably make your own from pallets. Couple of
but
comments.
This is what annoyed the hell out of me. I had this conversation with my dad the other day. We went, and I said, if I was the landlord, given what they have, tons of space, they are the farmers, the rest of that jazz, I would have all this sort of stuff done. I would have a stack load of fence panel parts just kind of tucked away, and you could actually build proper decent fences instead of buying this absolute crap. Because these stupid panels, they don't last. What's the longest anyone's ever managed to get out of them? Maybe a decade.
They're quite flimsy for the money as well.
Especially where I live. Just purely where I live, in the middle of a field, come the winter, you know fence panels are going to go because it is just windy. There is nothing. It's not like when you're in a town, you've got other bits and bobs around you. There's nothing. They break. They break constantly.
Yeah, if you're in open space, I mean, try driving a car in high wind when you've got flat areas around you. Your car's buffeting all over the place. There's a few comments related to what you've just said. Mr. 262, just finish up the kitchen thing. Sadly, many modern kitchens are not really designed for people that cook. Agreed, totally. David said wood prices through the roof. Yes, this is what we've noticed. Nick says they're charging people for their own laziness. Mr. 262 says it's not like it grows on trees. Oh, wait. Picking Gas says, well, we all agree with that. Lady Saxon says kitchens are boring now. Decades ago, they were stylish. David says disposable. Yes, this is disposable culture again. These things are not built to last. This is actually useful. Cockney Nutjob says, rule of thumb, you should not be able to touch a switch or a socket while being able to touch your sink taps as well. That's for kitchen design, presumably. That's really useful information.
I can touch many sockets from my...
Yeah, your house is a death trap.
I've got 2 sockets from sink level, as well as the boiler switch.
That's not good.
Maximum safety.
Dry stone walls, says Daffyd. 2,000 years, no probs. Not a terrible idea if they're put up properly. Fences, they only look good when they're brand new, but they are flimsy. They're not designed to last.
These types are absolutely appalling. I hate them.
Stephen says Northern Ireland is running out of fencing. You have wood shortages.
It's probably something to do with Brexit.
Oh yeah, of course. Zant says I can twice over, but the sockets were there when I moved in. I suppose it's a good rule of thumb. At the end of the day, it's about common sense, isn't it? But the reason why I first mentioned inflation, and John and I have spoken a lot about this, if you're going to start a project or you're thinking about starting a project, the prices are not going to fall again. They're just not. We know this. So I would suggest that you, if you can, get the materials that you're going to need now and store them if you have the space. Because wood especially is going to be really hard to come by. The fact is, people like us are being frozen out of all these markets on purpose. And things are never going to get any better than they currently are. So yeah, if you have a project in mind, I would start pricing it up and buying your materials now, if you can afford to.
I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, maybe more than that now actually. I was watching a video and I was just going through the comments. It had nothing to do with... Actually, no, it wasn't to do with us. It was a prepper. Fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. It was a prepper. I was just going through the comments. He was down in Louisiana, I think he said. And in his comment, he said that his company were having to reprice all the jobs they got in and were delayed last year because the prices had gone up by about 30%. Just across the board, everything on average had gone up that much. For a building contractor, that is an inordinate amount. And we're starting to see that ourselves now. As I said, that fence panel has gone up in price. I thought it was 23 quid. I was wrong. It was 21 quid. But even so, that has gone up, £8 in the space of a couple of years. I think 3 years, but it's gone up a hell of a lot.
Yeah. There's a good comment here from Bodrin, just on that same topic. Even if you don't have a project, if you have the space, buy thick, easy-to-store lumber and become a base wood merchant for the cause. It's not a terrible idea. If you have space and you have the money to invest in some of these raw materials, people are going to need them.
Yeah, space is going to be our main thing. Because if you have space, you have somewhere to work from. I'm very, very lucky in that I do have space. I just don't have any space that is available currently, which is what I'm working on.
Yeah, exactly. Space is going to be a premium. I think that really stands for all of the projects we've talked about really for the last year. Gardening requires space. Growing food requires space. I think what we're going to have to excel at now, all of us, is the most efficient way of utilizing the space we have. I would say though, if you're going to have a clear out, try not to throw things out that can be repurposed. I know you might look at things and think, I'm never ever going to do something with this, but someone you know might. So genuinely, just think about the space you've got and how you're using it. I mean, nobody, wants their house to look like a second-hand shop. But if you've got somewhere you can sort of hide stuff away until you need it, I would definitely take advantage of that. If you can afford to buy raw materials in now, highly recommend. Highly recommend. When we start to really get these communities up and running, we're going to be shut out of all of these things that we took for granted before. So what we need to do is plan for every eventuality. We need to start planning for the future. We genuinely do. This is the planning phase. Be in no doubt. This is the time where we can prepare for what's coming, or we can be caught up in the panic that everyone else engages with.
Exactly.
We're better than that. We know what's coming. It's on each and every one of us now to start thinking about these things.
Yeah, and that's partly why I want to take up the electronics project. It but by any stretch of the imagination, it is not a necessary thing. It's not something that I have to do. But I'm going to learn. Now's a pretty decent time to learn. Because ultimately, it's a thing that doesn't really matter. It's relatively simple, and it should work. And it's like a small quality of life improvement.
Johnny Red Pill Seed says a man on my road was stealing people's front gates. I daren't say anything as I feared he might take offence. Johnny, not Powell. Wow, there's so much competition. So yes, so if you have a project in mind, just crack on and get it done. We have so many great skills in our community. If you need help, ask for it. I'd really like to see, though, so I have a challenge for all of you. If you have a project in mind and you'd be willing to share it with us, please do so on the Discord. If you haven't already joined it, we'll drop a link in the chat. If you'd be willing to come on a stream and talk us through a project that you've completed, that would be fantastic. If you'd be willing to send video or photographs, perfect. If anyone needs help with a project, please do ask. And if anyone has any suggestions for projects that we can engage with, either on the live stream or just generally, please feel free to suggest them. This community has always worked by sharing information. Mm-hmm. And long may that continue. And if someone's currently in the process of completing a project and they're stuck, again, please ask. Nobody charges for information on this channel. It's going to cost you nothing to ask, and you may get the answer you need. We help each other. That's what we do. That's what this community is about. So we really hope to... Now we're going to really focus on Make, Do, Amend a lot more on these Wednesday Warden streams. I would genuinely like to start really showcasing your work and your skills, whether those skills are just a hobby, whether it's something you want to turn into some kind of a living, some kind of a job, or you just do it for fun. It doesn't matter. But if you do want to turn it into a job, who knows? Who knows where that will end? But if we can showcase your skills, you may get some customers right here. And just a reminder again, Nick is looking for someone to make a chair. So that's a good example of if we start talking about the things we can make or the things we can mend or repair, you may have a way to make some money. And we all are going to need to look at alternative ways to make money. I think the future is as good as it's going to get right now. There are lots of people out of work. The Great Reset is coming, whether we like it or not. It's up to us to adapt our lives, make these communities work, and make sure that we have a way of providing the things we need for our families and ourselves and our community. So if you need help, ask for it. If you can provide help, please offer it. That's really the goal here. And if you want to prevent Jordan from kamikazing himself live on a stream, please drop some advice in the chat. And if you're on the Discord, again, please feel free to share anything on the Discord. I would hope everyone will speak up on the stream if he's doing something that's about to result in some kind of, as has been said in the chat, some kind of X-ray picture stirring up with your skeleton on show for everyone to see.
Theoretically, it shouldn't go too wrong.
I hope not.
Like Adam's suggestion about using USB. That makes much more sense.
It does. So, yes. So if you have any skills, please share them. If you have any questions, please ask them. If you're able to help someone, please do. That is community right there. And it will only be by working together, standing together, and helping each other that we're going to get through this. No man is an island. And no one's going to survive this alone. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting times ahead. But as long as we stick together, as long as we help each other, we'll get through this. So, yes, so there won't actually be a Make, Do, Amend stream as such on its own anymore. But we would definitely be covering more Make, Do, Amend on the Wednesday shows. Mm-hmm. So... is there anything else you wanted to ask the chat before we wrap up, Jordan?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. So, yeah, get your projects online. I'll grab the Discord link real quick.
Well done. I will clarify. I will look into this. I will source the parts and all the rest of that. Hopefully, they'll all be here by next Wednesday, but we'll see. depending on how things go, they may be, they may not be. If they're not, we will be doing it the week after. But if they're next week, we will be doing it then. So that'd be fun. Kind of.
It'll be fine.
I'm slightly apprehensive about this because electronics aren't really something that I deal with. That's not my jazz. That's not my thing.
No, that's true. But hopefully, you're going to get loads of help and support. I will say, it really takes a rare person to have the confidence to do this live on a stream. It's not like you have any background in electronics at all.
No, I openly say I hate it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do an episode on ski jumping, says Picking Gaz. I've got no advice is all. Yeah, we might not be able to do that on the live stream.
If it was luge, I'd give that one a hell of a go. I don't mind that. Or skeleton or the bobsled or any of that sort of slidey business. Or general like downhill skiing. To be honest with you, I don't think there's any Winter Olympic sport I wouldn't do beyond that one and the god-awful thing which is cross-country skiing. I think I would die trying to do that. How the hell do these people do it?
I think Daffy gets comment of the night. Lots of help and support at A&E. Not without your passport, sunshine. Yeah.
Oh, that's something else. Sorry. I did see today that one of the ministers were bringing. What was it they said? Basically, they're going to start using the NHS thing on your phone, like the track and trace app. Start using that as your passport, your COVID passport.
Well, they have to do something with it because it's basically just been a drain on everyone's money, hasn't it? On the taxpayer, and a complete failure, essentially. So, well, good for them. They found a way to keep that going. You sneaky so-and-sos. I'm genuinely concerned. Honestly, where is the confidence? Where is the faith? Mr. 262 says, Jordan knew no fear of fitting tribute. He's still alive. Picking Gas says, pick a hill, we can all be there. Cockney Nutjob says, Jordan doing wiring on a live stream with the electricity on. I can't wait. Thank you.
Fool's
Will,
comment.
not you too. Et tu, Brute. Make do amend, made possible by the NHS. Exactly. What about those of us without smartphones? He always lit up the room. Oh, it's nice knowing you, Jordan.
It would.
Well, there you go. So if you don't want any of those things to happen, make sure you're there. Make sure you're providing advice. I'm genuinely quite curious to see how this plays out. Jordan, just put your wellies on is all I can say. And some marigolds. I think you'll be okay.
I have some of them. I'm good. The thing I'm slightly nervous about, out of all aspects of this, is the soldering. I'm not very good at soldering. We're going to see. And people are going to judge me for my soldering equipment.
I would hope not, because again, you're not a tradesperson. They know that this is all new to you, and you're making do with what you've got.
Trust me, when you see what the hell have you done?
Oh God. Cotley Nutjob says, "Let us pray." I'm almost there with you at this point. Just solder on, says Johnny Redpill Seed. I can't remember why Jordan had a bone to pick with you, but probably your comments tonight will remind him.
No, they haven't so far. I do. It was something on last night's show. I can't remember what it was. It was a great comment. It was a great comment at my expense.
Well, yes, to be continued. Oh, wow. Look, the sarcasm. A shining light in the community around 4,000 lumens. We'll get there. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Let's have some faith. Let's have some faith that Jordan's electricity isn't at full power. And the worst that will happen is just a tingling down one arm. Lewis Jones says, have any of you tried raw milk? Well, we're not risk takers. What are you talking about? Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. We hope
it's very nice.
we hope you enjoyed the stream. Really do appreciate the comments. Let's get those suggestions going then on the Discord. If you haven't joined already, the link is in the chat. I'll post it again. Please drop some suggestions for other projects that we can talk about, that we can work on, that we can set up. And please feel free to share your own projects. We really do want to really lift up the members of this community who are leading the way, who are showing initiative, who are building things. It would be really, really great to give you guys the shout out that you deserve. So, yes. For those of you who just joined us, thank you and have a very good evening. Sorry, a bit late.
Thank you.
There's no dig stream this week, so Andrew and Jonathan get a welcome day off. We will be back on Friday with Let's Talk About, and we'll catch up with you then. So thank you, everyone.
See you then.
Take care.